Hey everybody, I'm Tim Hockett. Today I want us to think a bit deeper about the concept of good. And what I'm really after is if something is good, is it always good? And is it always good everywhere? Believe it or not, that's a huge issue. I want to set the stage with a couple of illustrations that I hope you'll find helpful. Put on your thinking caps. Let's start by talking about two issues on which there's almost universal agreement: slavery and polygamy. Although America has its own history of building the early nation in part by enslaving workers, and even though the sides felt so strongly about slavery that we killed each other, 650,000 Americans died in the Civil War, which, by the way, caused more war dead than all of America's other wars combined. We have come to the agreement across all states and most nations that slavery is bad and should be forbidden. And we've codified those views. That is, we put that in the law. We also know that in ancient times, many parts of the world had polygamy. It was practiced and widely accepted in many cultures. It goes back to biblical times where we're told that the patriarchs of old, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they all had multiple wives and even what they called concubines or kind of live in girlfriends. Today, with the exception of some Middle Eastern and African cultures, and with the exception of Mormon sectarians, polygamy is almost universally forbidden, certainly in the Western world. It too is forbidden by law. All right, now we're ready to ask the question. If slavery is wrong now, has it always been wrong? If polygamy is wrong now, has it always been wrong? Second question is very much like it. If slavery is wrong here, is it wrong everywhere? And if polygamy is wrong here, is it wrong everywhere? So just to be crystal clear in asking the question, is good both timeless and universal? So if I say something's right, has it always been right? And has it always been right everywhere? Okay. I have my answer, and it turns out to be an inconvenient truth, at least for me. From my perspective, if something is right or good now, then it's always been right. Again, from my perspective, if something is right or good here, then it's right or good everywhere. Let me state the affirmative, put it in an affirmative statement. I think slavery is wrong here. It's wrong now, and it was wrong way back then, and it was wrong in other places. I don't like the idea of people owning other people. The implications are heavy. This is part of the inconvenient truth. If my view is correct, it means that America did indeed have a very bad record of treating non-whites, particularly in its early history, and is still struggling with the consequences. Further, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention human trafficking, which is very much alive around the world. It's just another form of slavery, in my view. Most people today condemn polygamy. You can't be married to a bunch of different women. If it's wrong now and it's wrong here, hasn't it always, by extension, always been wrong? Hasn't it always been wrong everywhere? If this view is correct, that means that much of human history is horribly marred by wrong. The revered patriarchs and kings of the Bible all had multiple wives and concubines. Were they wrong? The famous 12 tribes of Israel were headed by the 12 sons of Jacob, the 12 sons born from four different women, four different wives of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. If my premise is true, then another possible inconvenient truth could present itself this way. I'm a believer in the Bible, The Bible's filled with instances of polygamy, so I guess I'm going to have to say that it's okay. It's also filled with slavery. I guess I'm going to have to say it's okay. Do you know that preachers back in the day of slavery used to justify slavery by its occurrence in the Bible? All right. Key to the opinions that I expressed above that things are, right and wrong are timeless and they are universal, are the words "from my perspective." I live in America. I live in 2023. And I've lived to see lots of changes occur in the past 70 plus years that I've been alive. My perspective, my views have been shaped by my Western culture, my loving upbringing in a Western coastal states in America, my education, my place in society as a white, straight male. This environment and culture has shaped me and it has shaped my views. I want you to consider whether the things that you think are right or wrong should be that way for everybody and should be that way everywhere. If so, then can't we say this? One state in America shouldn't have laws different and regulations different than other states? Yeah, you see, we don't even agree with each other on what's right and wrong between states. Our culture shapes us, and sometimes our environment, even our close environment, helps teach us the difference between right and wrong. America is faced with huge challenges. Many of them have moral or ethical implications. How do we universally deal with mass shootings? Are all abortions fundamentally wrong? And who should make that decision? How do we deal with deep poverty, like homelessness, when we have so much accumulated wealth in America? When do we intervene in another country? Or when other countries come into conflict, how should we behave and on what basis? Today in America, there are strong opinions about these matters, and the opinions differ so completely that we've just about paralyzed ourselves. My suggestion is that we absolutely think through our values and the things that we hold dear. But I also urge you to learn to culturally contextualize your views. Let me say that again. Learn to culturally contextualize your views and also try to understand where the other people are coming from. Try to understand their personal culture. When you do, then you'll be ready to be engaged in a good conversation. If we combine being well informed with being a good listener, which is part of being fair, being a good listener, we can actually work toward a better United States of America, a more united States of America. As always, I appreciate you taking time to watch. I'm Tim Hockett. Hey, before you go, I want you to know that I value your thoughts and your questions. I do have 3 favors to ask. First, please subscribe to this channel. America Divided, we can do better. 2, make time to watch all these little videos. And 3, please share these videos widely. Together we really can make a difference. I hope you have a great day.